Okay, let's see. Lower turret, higher. Okay, the closer we get, the more obvious the deviation becomes. Yeah, okay, it's very obvious close range. I guess this can be an issue if you're trying to hit the... If you're doing drive-bys and you're trying to hit the close citadels, then it becomes very obvious. The lower turret is clearly hitting the turret every time, and the higher turret is clearly going above the turret every time. So, the game struggles with aiming superfiring turrets at close range. It aims them too high. That's fascinating to watch. So basically what's happening is the lower turret is going exactly where I aim, and the higher turret is going above the turrets all the time. So the superfiring turret is not correctly aligned to where you're actually aiming. That's what the bug is. That's really the glitch. So the gunnery is basically wonky. That's what it is. Could it be that it can't depress enough? Are you kidding me? You think it's a depression issue? Come on. Come on. Come on. No, it's not a depression issue. No, the issue is clearly that basically they don't align correctly with where the crosshair is. That's the problem. At close range, the gunnery basically breaks down. Oh, the turret broke, so now we're going through it. At close range, the gunnery basically breaks down a bit. I think it's because they coded the gunnery very lazily. They coded it from the center of the ship to the target. So the the turrets that are aligned with the hull are shooting exactly where they should, but any turrets that are higher are misaligned and they're going too high. I think that's really what the glitch is. Seems a kind of big issue for a gunnery game. Are you telling me World of Warship's gunnery does in fact have some flaws? No way. I refuse to believe it. Unheard of. Unbelievable. I can't believe it. Very consistent bug to replicate as well. The further out you are, the less noticeable it is, of course. But the closer you get, the more obvious it is. So, any ships with superfiring turrets? I would assume ships like Sean Bart probably suffer from this quite a bit, because Sean Bart only has 8 guns and it's 2 turrets on the front, and one of them is superfiring. So the superfiring turret is always going to be aiming a bit higher than the other turret. Vermont probably has it to some extent as well, but once again, Vermont, well, once again, this is a drive-by issue. In Vermont, it can be an issue. I guess this would explain sometimes when you're driving past the battleship, you're doing a drive-by past the battleship, and you aim all your guns into the battleship waterline, and you get like 6 pens or sits, and then you get 6 over pens, and you're wondering, why did those 6 shells go so much higher than the 6 shells that went into the waterline? And that's probably because of this bug. The guns are the superfine guns are going too high, so they're not actually going into the citadel, despite the fact that you aimed exactly as you should. So, interesting. So this Wargame probably set the firing angle and is using the same value for all turrets. Yeah, exactly. This is just very lazy coding. That's what it comes down to. It's very lazy coding that is causing it. It's that simple. I think the further out the way you are. Oh, but hello. Where? Oh, that's like a lower turret. That's a superfine turret. It's pretty obvious even this range. The two lower turrets hit well. Well, once again, accuracy. But it's somewhat consistent, but this further out the way you are, and obviously the worse your dispersion is, the less noticeable it is. But it's still a pretty obvious glitch, and it's something I'm going to try to keep in mind when I do drive-bys now. I'm not really sure how to adjust to it though, because there's so little individual turret control in this game. You can't assign lower turrets to a separate firing control in this game. So the only thing you can do is in a drive-by try to sequential fire, and when you switch to the superfiring turret, you depress the guns a bit further. But that's going to be pretty hard to pull off. But that would explain a lot. That would make it more straightforward. So that's why I have 46% win rate. It's the game's fault. God damn it, Wargaming. No, but obviously this is really stupid. This is obviously really, really stupid. There's really no defense to this besides that it's lazy coding. It's really lazy coding. Props to the guy who noticed this on the subreddit. I think, what was it called? Hagostaeldmann on the Reddit is the one that noticed that. Yeah, no, pretty obvious glitch then. Pretty obvious glitch. Pretty brutal on battleships in particular, I would say. In drive-by battleships, when you really need those shells to go into the citadel and then they're going too high.